Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Assassin's Creed, your number one podcast for all things Assassin's Creed.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. We've been away a while. Has it been 5 weeks, 6 weeks since we last recorded when we had a great conversation with Marie Claude and about fan fiction and inspirations for fan fiction? It's been too long. What the hell are we doing? Episode 144. That's right. Yes, we're back. And apparently there's been some news.
Lots of news, because we're back again. Wait, no, that's copyright. Let's not do that.
No. Yeah, don't sing. We'll get banned. Definite copyright strike.
Now, will we get banned because my singing is terrible or with copyright?
Oh, no. That'd be fine. I mean, you've seen YouTube, right? It's no. So what are we doing tonight? We are talking about, there was the big showcase, which time has flown by. It was 6 days ago. So we were recording on Thursday the 15th, and it was on the Saturday the 10th. It was 5 days ago. My word, I can't even count. And we had a hell of a presentation, didn't we? I want to open with a question for you, because this is the first kind of Assassin's Creed announcement or preview trailer or preview event that I've ever seen. And there was a lot in there. And I'm wondering, from your history with these games, is this the most amount of kind of content and forward-looking roadmap and clues that we've ever had?
From my understanding, yes. It's always a games convention, one game is released. Now, we did have the previous 1 year cycle after 2, so a lot of reveals and all that weren't big. However, it was a YouTube that I watched that came up with this idea, and I can't remember the channel, but I think the reason they did this showcase this big for the first time was a giant FU to leakers, because by having these projects co-named, a leaker can say, yes, but Hexe's original name is such and such, and people are like, and we've known about this project for a year and a half now, we don't care. So I really think what they've basically done is go big for the 15th. Hey, it's your 15th, this is what we're doing. But also basically FU to the leakers. We're going to tell them what we're doing now. So if you want to leak it in a year's time, a month before it's released, people already know it's coming. No one's going to be like, oh my god, there's a new Assassin's Creed, let's talk about it. Because we already know. And by the time you leak the information, Ubisoft will be ready to tell more. So they've just shot leakers in the foot, to be honest.
That's a good point. I mean, we're not going to. I don't know if everything that was leaked has been revealed now. I mean, I haven't. Well, I have had a few conversations where I've heard some forward-looking stuff, but we're only going to discuss. We don't want to spread additional leaks, so we're not going to go into anything that has been leaked but not covered publicly. But yeah, there was. In the few days before the event, there was a huge amount of leaks of code names and potential locations and this, that, and the other. It was funny because some people were very angry about the leaks, which I understand. They want to go into these games spoiler free. Other people were, like me, I had read some of them, but I wasn't going to share them and amplify them. And then there are other people saying, leaks is normal. That's what they do in Assassin's Creed. They've always been leaks and it's just normal. Don't worry about it, which was fascinating to me because I would have thought that, big points of games like the setting and the name of the game would be secret. I guess if you've got thousands of developers working on a project, someone's going to talk, aren't they? And of course, we don't know the details yet of what each of these games are going to look like or play like. But yeah, the leaking situation in the last few days was it was bizarre, I have to say. I'm glad the event is over and the speculation continues even more now. But I'm glad we're kind of over that period of intense leaking. And I was I'd heard some things, but I was trying not to make it worse by seeking out more leaks or more confirmation of different rumors and so on. So we're not going to talk about leaked content or unconfirmed points today. So we are going to talk about what was in the presentation. If you haven't watched the Ubisoft presentation, I mean, I'm guessing if you're listening to us, you probably have. But we'll only be chatting about what we've seen and what we think. So where do we start? There was an awful lot of stuff packed into that Assassin's Creed segment in the Ubisoft Forward presentation.
So I want to start with Red, but before I start with Red, as 2 points I want to quickly make before we jump in. First one is Community Tales, the community anthology fanfic grouping project. We are 6 stories in, and I would love to get 10 stories done before I can then publish it as a free ebook PDF to everyone.
I think this is great, and I'll be honest, I've not been. I don't really write, so I've not been part of this, but this is a really fascinating project. So just take it back a step and describe what your goal is when this is complete.
So essentially the goal is I want not just Ubisoft, I'm actually thinking bigger than Ubisoft. I'm thinking, well, insanely stupidly big, but I'm kind of tired because I know it from experience with the podcast that when I tell people, oh, I'm a content creator for Assassin's Creed, they say, oh, you're a YouTuber. No. Oh, you're a Twitch streamer. No. Oh, what are you? I'm a podcaster. Oh, what's that? So it's kind of like in the world of community of creation, it's like you have Twitch streamers, YouTube, fan artists. They're the top dogs. They're the ones that developers are rushing to give them code, give them projects, give them stuff to do. But podcasters, not so much. And as I put in my acknowledgements, I didn't know this world existed till 2020. Fanfickers get basically nothing.
Yeah.
Like, do Ubisoft and other companies not realize that if you want a story written about your product and you want it to not be canon, you just want some fun, don't hire a professional author. You can hire a fan, because if a professional author will have to go through like NDAs, all the stuff, they'll have to learn the stuff. But if you get a fan of your franchise, you pay them a couple of £100 to write a short novel on, let's say, Altair and Ezio, maybe do a fanfic where they were born in the same time and it was Altair who raised Ezio, for example. That fan already has the knowledge of the games. They know the characters inside out. They could do so much details that it will blow the company's minds. But they're not utilised. I don't see any lives for podcasters or fanfic writers. It's like we don't exist. So my idea is there's an AO3 document website which does fanfics, where I have a collection now where people can post stories, and I'll keep sharing my AO3 link to like different Ubisoft servers just to get, hey look, fanfickers are here, I'm waving the flag. But the big one is I want 10 short stories, 6 pages or less, in native language. I understand English is not everyone's language, and I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'm not accepting your work because it's not English, because the project isn't about just reading the stories. The project is showing your talent and your enthusiasm. So if your native language is French, Chinese, Spanish, you can always send the stories in that native language and that will get published. And I may publish a translation of your work. And if a translation isn't possible because I am dyslexic, so language is my struggle tea, I will still publish it in the native language it was sent, just to promote your work. You can email all that to me at assassinscreedletstalk@gmail.com. And once I get to 10 stories, I'm on 6 at the moment, so thank you to everyone who's submitted the stories. I'll be working with a member from the Sisterhood community who will help me put that into a PDF ebook format. And the idea is once that's in a PDF ebook format, it will then be distributed for everyone to download. And I will find ways to give it to Ubisoft to download. I'll ask my Ubisoft representative if he can share it in his office to get people to download it. And it's essentially just, can we get fanfickers recognised, because their talent is crazy. And in a world where everything's taken over by digital. Reading is dying off. Even my girlfriend says to me, Declan, people don't read more often. Maybe people should. Maybe people can get some joy because fanfickers create such amazing works. I've been reading bits of Marie Cloud's work and I love it. A lot of the fanfics I've been reading for this anthology, I kind of love it as well. Like, the stories are stuff that Ubisoft maybe wouldn't do themselves, but the fanfickers want to, so I don't know what else to say, but just more that I want people to recognise your talent, essentially.
I think it's a great idea. I love the idea of collecting together an anthology of short stories, and having it, like you said, having someone who knows what they're doing. I don't know what the right word is. Is it design? Is it typeset? But kind of assemble them into a PDF. The nice thing is you can download PDFs onto your e-readers like Kindles and so on, so people can actually read them offline on their normal ebook rather than having to sit at a laptop or a mobile device and read them. So I think it's a fantastic idea, mate. I can't wait. Look forward to seeing the. It reminds me actually. Do you remember the Eagle's Path zine that was made 2 years ago now? I think, and it was a collection of fan arts and little strategy snippets and so on from all the games collected together into a PDF form. And that's a fantastic piece of creation and collection of people's creations from across the community. So I like this idea, man. I think it's going to be great.
I think the only thing that's got me curious is somebody retweeted it saying that they're very excited about it, but I don't actually know. I think they're one of Ubisoft's transmedia people.
Yes, it is Amar, and I can't remember his surname, but yes, he's the transmedia chap. So he's interested, mate, which is great.
Well, if he's interested, I'm hoping that maybe I could send it to him. Read this.
Definitely. Guess his email address. No, don't do that. We shouldn't be we shouldn't be recommending that. But yeah, tag him in it when it's ready. I'm sure he'd be interested to see what people are creating. And yeah, it's nice to. You're right. Fan fiction writers are often not seen, and it would be nice to shine a bit of light on them. I like that idea.
And I think the second topic that we need to bring up before we go in and this show, and this is actually a serious one that I don't make a lot, but I have had from Facebook in the past, when I first started, a lot of troll messages over some of my comments. So I just want people to be aware that everything discussed today is our own opinions. I have some very spicy takes on the modern day red Hexe, and I'm more than happy, me and James, as always, to have calm discussions over Twitter. You can even email me. I love interacting on email or DMs. But just remember, everything discussed in these podcasts are our own opinions. And that said, should we start with red?
I tell you what we'll do. We will do red in just a sec. But what I'll quickly say about Mirage, which is the confirmed name of the next main game release. We're going to be doing an episode all about Mirage next, so in 2 weeks' time. So we're not going to talk too much about it today. But yeah, let's with that said about Mirage, let's jump to red. I mean, what do you think?
I think I've already solved where red's going.
Go for it.
So there's a pattern in Assassin's Creed that we all know by now. The logo is the key. Everybody knows logo is the key. Syndicate, look at the logo. French Revolution logo. Odyssey's logo. Look at Valhalla's logo closely. It's two axes in the shape of the A. Now, I've put this on Twitter twice, no reactions. I best find the tweet, actually, because my dyslexia is actually terrible.
You said that it looked like, was it a type of weapon?
Yes, it is two kisuriganas, or something, which is from the Edo period of Japan, which were shinobi weapons, judging by what I could find on Wikipedia. I am trying to pull up on my Twitter links, which I should.
There's been a lot going on in the last 2 weeks, or last week, hasn't there? So it gets hard to stay on top.
Here we go. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla has two axe logos, which we do know. And red, from my hunting down closely, is to Kusuri Gama, which are two one-handed scythe-like weapons. And if you look at the red logo, you can actually see at the top they intersect but don't connect, like one's overlapping.
Okay.
And what makes that interesting from my research is them type of weapons were used in the Muromachi period, which was 1336 to 1573, and uh, that was a lot of like cultural growth for Japan during the time. So with the shinobi fantasy, I think that plays right in. But there's also during that time a female. Now, there's no concrete evidence for this. It's one of those things that you find on the internet, and it's very skeptical where the source is. But there's a ninja handbook that describes a female shinobi art, which apparently the female shinobi art at that time was more linked to assassinations and covert operations over males who were more combat orientated. So my theory is that we're either going to get a single protagonist and that's a female, because assassination and covert, judging by this book that I found, was more of a female art, and it was more of a males who did the combat, so we could have a build like within Origins, the male and female protagonist, where the female is more assassination focused and the male is more combat, or we could just have the sole protagonist, which would be a female, which would make more sense.
I love this theory.
I hope it's right.
Yeah, I mean, me too. As we've discussed many times, it's long overdue, and it'll certainly make the Gamer Bros cross, won't it? Which kind of makes me happy. Yeah. So you're thinking female shinobi, which was a Japanese assassin. Can we say that? Is that the right translation of the word?
My Discord actually froze on me, so I cannot pull up the wrong translation. But there was a correct translation I did have on Twitter, and I did actually have notes today. I was a good podcaster. I had notes on my mobile, and my mobile's like, no, I don't want to work for you today, Declan. No, 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 no.
Oh, no. See, I've gone old school. I've got paper and pen. And I've written out a load of stuff here on the pad in front of me.
Let's see. No, I cannot find where it's gone. Naughty. Oh, wait. No, it's gone. Completely gone. My notes have left the planet. Goodbye, my notes. Cool, I'm going old school, people. Winging it.
Let's do it from memory, yeah. So we don't really know anything else about Red apart from that very brief animated scene of the assassin, the shinobi, with a short. It's a short sword, isn't it? A short version of a katana, which has a different name, and then the hidden blade on the left wrist, and the setting sun, which I think is obviously a clear visual representation of Japan. People have been calling for a game in Japan for years, haven't they? And the comparisons with Ghost of Tsushima will, of course, be made, I'm sure. Have you played Ghost of Tsushima?
I haven't, no, but I think I'm going to have to bite my tongue when people make comparisons, because it grates my gears that people are like, oh my god, Valhalla and Origins are like Witcher 3 clones. And
Did you just do California Valley speak? Oh my word.
Don't ask. When I get lately I've been having so little sleep due to insomnia that my mind's just going mental. I think I went Scouse the other day by accident. My partner was like, what the hell's that? I was like, what? You sound Scouse? I was like, I do not sound Scouse. But no, it grates my gears everyone comparing the last 3 to Witcher 3 because of the RPG. And I sit there and I'm like, Skyrim, RPG. Witcher 2, RPG. Fallout, RPG. Stop comparing everything to Witcher. There's more RPGs out there than just the blooming Witcher.
Yeah, the comparison I've heard a lot about Odyssey is, what was it? It's like it's the Witcher Light. and I think people mean it as a criticism, and I don't know. I haven't played The Witcher, but my response is, well, maybe it is. Maybe it doesn't have the depth and the complexity of The Witcher, but not every game has to, you know. Maybe it's just a good game on its own right, or a bit of fun. Who knows? But yeah, there are the Ghost of Tsushima comparisons are going to come thick and fast, aren't they? Once we get nearer to Red. Although, who knows when it will release? I mean, we've had so many code names revealed to us. Depending on the release schedule, if it's a game every 2 years, which personally I'm fine with, I don't need an annual release of an Assassin's Creed game. As we've said before, there's plenty of other games out there to play. We could be looking at, sort of 4, even 6 years into the future with what has been announced in the last week or so. Red might not be out for another couple of years, so who knows when we'll actually get to see it and how much it will change and how much it will evolve. Will it just be an evolution of Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, or because this is another point we should make. So in one of the interviews, this wasn't during the presentation, but this was in one of the interviews afterwards. Was it IGN or Game Rant? I can't remember, but one of the sort of directors of the franchise said that, and this is really important, I think, for all fans of Assassin's Creed, they're not going to try to make each game appeal to every part of the fan base. They are going to have much more focused games. So there will be the open world kind of exploration style, which follows the recent trilogy. For people that like that style, there will be Mirage, the classic city-based experience. There's going to be Hexe, which we'll get onto in a minute, which is going to be, well, they haven't said much, have they, other than something else. So it's very interesting to see that they're going to be breaking up, if you like, the franchise into these different styles and these different experiences. I mean, I'm personally still expecting to play them all. Maybe not the mobile ones, but we'll come to that in a minute. Because I love the open world games. Valhalla not so much, but I'm still at the moment, as I have been for about the last 2 months, slowly and steadily replaying Horizon Zero Dawn, and I just love that relaxed exploration of a beautiful open world. So I'm looking forward to future open world games, but I'm also really looking forward to Mirage and that sort of tight, dense city experience. So but I'm sure there'll be people out there who will just pick and choose. There'll be people who just want the open world. That's great. Go play Red. There'll be people who don't like the open world structure, and they'll just go and play Mirage and Hexe or whatever. So it's really interesting to see. It'll be fascinating to watch over the next few years how these things change and what we actually get in the end. Over to you, mate.
We have so many guests. I keep forgetting when it's me and you. I don't need to raise my hand like I'm in school. Please, sir.
I did wonder why you had your hand up. But yeah, we get into the habit. Well, you're right. We've had so many guests recently. It's actually a novelty just being me and you. But we're hoping to have a couple of guests on for our Mirage kind of first impressions in a couple of weeks. And I'm looking forward to that conversation as well, because we've got a couple of good people lined up. Anyway, sorry, mate. Back to what were we talking about? Red.
Please, sir, can I talk?
Yes, you may speak.
Sir. Well, this is where I'm going to get my first pitchfork. Huzzah.
All right, I'm going to sharpen my pitchfork. I'm ready.
I'm actually going to believe that Red is 2024 because of Mirage being in 2023. And I can explain that more later if you would like. I believe Hexe is 2025. But I don't believe the next big one will be till 2027 because of how much post-content they're planning to give Red. And with the hub world being Infinity, I could see Red dropping 2024, giving it 4 to 6 years till the next big one. So tons of post-content Red. And in that time, give smaller titles like Hexe. But I'm actually scared for when they say cater to instead of catering to the whole fan base, they're going to make different things, because people need to understand, and I don't talk about this much, and I should because they don't understand who I am, but I get overwhelmed easily on social media. I have a lot of mental health issues and I just struggle a lot. And I can be weighed down on negatives. Twitter, people are very vocal on Twitter, and it is such a mental struggle for me. My concern about them not catering and doing their own little thing is they may start bringing out like little spin-offs like an XCOM style game or a more advanced Assassin's Creed roguelite. I will play the hell out of anything. As I said on Twitter, I'll play a blooming dating sim if it existed. The issue is, from all the backlash that I saw towards Forgotten Saga, and that wasn't actually aimed at the myth, it was aimed at roguelites. The idea of if they had a hub where for year 2025 the only game they brought out was a roguelite, I just don't think I could mentally be prepared for the very loud community that would bash it because it's not an Assassin's Creed game. And I think that's just my little personal worry for the future, if that makes sense.
It does. I mean, you got millions of people that buy these games. There's probably a smaller group that buy every single game and every single expansion. Well, there's a much smaller group that buys all the DLCs and so on. But you're never going to make a title that appeals to everybody and gives everyone's going to give a 10 out of 10 score. It's I I haven't finished Forgotten Saga. I played it, I suppose, in total for about an hour, and I didn't really enjoy it. That's a separate thing. But my understanding of how it played, but more importantly, how the structure of the game was connected to Javi's story and calculations and all the rest of it, that was a really clever use of established universe lore, but then finding a game mode that could fit with it and having a bit of fun with it. And why not? Why not try new things and new ways of doing things? And do you know what? Forgotten Saga was free. If you didn't want to play it, don't play it. If you played it and didn't like it, so be it. If you played it and liked it, great. So I don't know whether every game mode and every possible type of video game should be tried, but maybe Ubisoft shouldn't be afraid, and they should just try. They should try stuff and see if it works. As long as the story's there and there's a connective thread, why not? We won't all like it, and that's fine. There are lots of people out there that loved Forgotten Saga. There are people out there that loved River Raids. I wasn't one of them, but Ubisoft have got to try these things and see what works.
I personally think, in my opinion, Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft themselves are in such a unique position that people are not looking at, and that is Black Flag. What did Black Flag introduce that changed the world of Assassin's Creed that they've not explored yet?
The Observatory?
Nope. Think more modern day.
Oh, Abstergo Entertainment.
Exactly. They can literally theoretically build any game type as an Abstergo product.
Yes.
Look at Rebellion. Rebellion is not canon to the games but some of the lore is. But it's an Abstergo product. It's a meta product. When you load it, you get the Animus loading screen. It acts like an Animus, and this is such a unique potential that Infinity could give us a roguelike game, and it could be uncanon to the main big RPG games. It could just be its separate little world with an Animus Island that you've got to try and escape through different simulations. Is that canon to the Assassin's Creed universe? Yes, because it's an Abstergo product. You can make it a meta product to Abstergo.
Yeah, true.
Is it canon to the Assassin's Creed games? Like, from 1 to Red? Maybe not. Is that a problem? No. Should we complain about it? No, because Abstergo Entertainment is an entertainment product. If you can make a game mode like a platformer, a roguelite, a TCG, a match-free game and all having them as a meta Abstergo product with maybe propaganda from Templar propaganda mixed in,
Yeah.
you've still got a tight Assassin's Creed experience. Just because it's not stabby, stealth. It's a meta product.
My favourite kind of game. Stabby, stealth. Yes.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I love the stabby stealth games, but honestly, I'm just this big kid that's just crying for Ubisoft to try anything under the Abstergo banner, because it would be hilarious for them to say, "Hey, we're making a match-free game like Candy Crush," and
what do you mean by a match-free game?
like Candy Crush.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I've never played Candy Crush. What do you mean?
Right. So basically, you have a board full of coloured gems, and now I'm going to
I
call.
can't believe you're having to explain how Candy Crush works to me. Okay, yes, I'm a boomer. Let's move on. Go on.
Actually, I'm not going to explain Candy Crush because I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. My favourite saying. I'm going to pitch an Assassin's Creed match-free game based off another match-free game I played called Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest. Right? They all work on the same formula that there is a coloured board, and you've got to match three of the same colour by striking horizontal or vertical. So,
okay.
So, but how it could work with Assassin's Creed going off Magic the Gathering, for example, in the Magic the Gathering game, you get a Planeswalker, who's like the character you play as, and they have 3 abilities. And basically, you match gems, and each gem gives you your Magic the Gathering cards mana, and you cast the cards to do an effect. You could hypothetically build one where you've got to match pieces of Eden, that's the shape of them on the board, to fill up your hand, and you can use swords, daggers, stealth against an AI opponent. So match 4 red gems and you deal 20 damage to a Templar. And your Templar can attack backwards, it's like a back and forward.
Okay.
Or you can match, if you match 4 yellows and get in a row, your opponent can't attack you because you've gone into stealth, meaning for 2 turns they can't attack you because you're in stealth. So if you match more red gems, you do attack. So really, is that a big Assassin's Creed product that should do? No. Is it a really cool Abstergo meta project? Why not? Abstergo Entertainment is a literal game engine creator. Have fun with it. Just make some meta games for a laugh. Don't be... Keep the main games serious to the lore. Create meta experiences based off Abstergo with Templar propaganda for fun. Go for it. I think have fun with the franchise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just have fun with the franchise. I'm not being rude. It's 15 years down the line. Have some fun for once. You know what I mean? Just do something entertaining for us. Just do something off-key, wild, like Hexe.
And that's the most. I mean, obviously, there's nothing really known about it apart from what Access the Animus have decoded in terms of likely time period and likely setting. Seems pretty clear. But yeah, nothing is known apart from maybe witches. But what does that really mean when you take witches and apply it to an Assassin's Creed framework? We don't know yet. But it's the most. It's the most. I suppose because we know so little, it's enigmatic, isn't it, and fascinating. And we'll probably. What's most interesting about Red and Hexe is we may not learn any more about them for a year or more. You know, it might go completely quiet now. For a long time until we get a reveal trailer, you know, and that could be years, which is also kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, we don't really have much to go on. But any thoughts about Hexe? This we had this. What would you call it? A talisman made of twigs in the woods somewhere.
Oh, I'm going right off the deep end here. I'm not talking stabby stealth. I am literally. We're coining that phrase, James. Stabby stealth.
Isu balls. Stabby stealth. Gotcha.
Perfect. I'm going full on survival horror. You are a I don't know how they could do it culturally appropriate. I'm going to use that word because you've got to be sensitive because it is a very dark time in human history. But imagine that the Roman Catholic witch hunt is an
Hmm.
Assassin's Creed purge. Again, the Templars are trying to destroy an Assassin's Creed brotherhood, but it's actually a sisterhood, so they're all female assassins. And you play as one of them assassins, and you use mushrooms, an apple of Eden, anything to cause occult supernatural abilities. And it's
Gotcha.
basically a survival horror. You've got to survive a world where the Templars are after you with limited equipment. You can throw smoke bombs to cause hallucinations, so people see you as some demon. I want to see a piece of Eden where people start hallucinating and they think you're like some werewolf. I want occult
Oh, okay.
supernatural fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? That's the vibe I'm getting. Literally, I'm getting Blair Witch product style survival horror just from that trailer. And you know what's hilarious? People are more talking about Hexe over Red
I
when,
mean, to be expected, I guess, just
but
because of the community, let's say, meta commentary.
but it's weird from my point of view of being verbally trolled over my love for the occult and the supernatural for a game like Hexe to be hyped by a lot of members over Red, which is a community requested game. A lot of people verbally trolled me on Facebook because I liked the werewolves in Wrath of Druid.
Mm,
I liked the
mm.
mythology. But those same people who I was talking to last night on the Facebook group are hyping up Hexe. And it's just, I can't get my head around it personally. I don't understand why more people are hyping Hexe over Red when Red is a more fan requested game than Hexe.
I suspect it, like I say, it's just the unknown. We know nothing. So, of course, you can, as a fan, you can make Hexa in your head whatever you want it to be. Because right now, who knows what it is? They may not even have the story finished yet, let alone any detailed development on what the gameplay will be. Um, could be an investigation type game, you know? Yeah.
But we do know the story though,
Do we?
don't we? Don't we? We know some bits of the story. Remember? Let me find the
Hang on, Red or Hex are we talking about?
Hexa.
Okay. What do we
Let's have.
know? Because I've obviously not been paying attention.
Let me just. My notes are froze. You know. Again, technology people, technology. Right. It was you that posted this,
Was
and
it?
it,
Oh, I post a lot of shit, mate. Don't follow me.
I always follow you. I stalk everyone in the community. I may not be there, but I am actually there. Oh, where's it gone? Right. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I don't think a lot of people actually talked about this, and it is saved in my phone. Um, if you remember correctly, you asked Darby McDevitt about the story.
Oh, right. So just to explain the backstory here for people listening. So we interviewed Darby back in March. And as an opening to the interview, we had, was it like 10 questions or 20 quick questions, just to sort of, warm ourselves up and get the conversation going. And we made this list together, in the run up to the interview. We didn't think we'd be starting off with an awkward question. We thought it would just be a nice way to get the conversation going. And one of the questions we asked Darby was, what book are you currently reading, or what's the most recent book you finished reading? And straight away he said, yeah, I can't answer that because that's going to be spoilers for whatever project. Yeah, and I'm assuming, again, based on, as you said, Declan, I then followed up a couple of days ago and said, so now that we've seen the reveal of all some of the projects, maybe most of the projects that are in progress, can you now tell us what you were reading? And his reply was,
I've lost the tweet.
oh no, Declan, I queued you up perfectly, mate.
I know, but you,
Oh dear.
but Do people not know how much, like, literally crap we talk secretly in Discord?
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, that's true.
We talk so much.
To be fair, one of the other things when we were talking to Darby, one of the other topics we covered was that a lot of people sort of, message him on Twitter and ask sort of minor questions, and they ask him, more serious. One question I remember someone asked him some months ago was, "Hey, Darby, how do you think assassins earned a living, enough money to buy their food and have a roof over their heads whilst they're busy doing all this assassin stuff?" And it was quite an involved conversation between somebody on Twitter and Darby, and sort of, sharing ideas about how that might work. So people do ping him their questions, and sometimes he will answer. I've never pinged him until now, because I've always felt like he's a busy man, a lot of people must message him, and I would never want to sort of be a pain and bother him. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna, this time I shall make an exception for myself, and I will just say, why not? Would you be willing now to update us on that question? And one of the other things we discussed back in March was that I think Darby does quite enjoy tweaking the nose of people who ask him lore questions by often not answering the question, or answering it very obtusely, so that you could interpret his answer to be anything you like. And I can't speak for the man, of course, but I got the impression that, yes, he does quite enjoy being cryptic. And I believe we can say that his reply to me was cryptic. So what did he say? He said, "I'm reading a choose-your-own adventure book called Hexe, in which you wander some spooky woods at night, looking for assassin symbols made of twigs." Which is exactly what the the trailer kind of was, wasn't it? Although I did quite enjoy the choose your own adventure part. I don't know whether he was just messing with us, and if you are, I respect that, Darby. That's always good fun. Or is that what they're looking at seriously as a play style for Hexa? I don't know. At the moment, I'm just going to assume it's a bit of fun, and that's the way it goes. But
I mean, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because in all of the reveals of the 15th, that has to be my highlight. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. Just that one Twitter interaction about Hexe just made me laugh so much this week. It was just... and I think that's why at this moment I wanted to bring it up on the show, because I don't think a lot of people have seen it, and I can't remember what channel in Discord we were talking, but it was just so perfectly executed. I was just like, I like you, Darby. That response is... And even if it was a choose your own adventure, that'd be hilariously good as well. I'm happy for anything.
I see. This is again where I demonstrate my complete lack of knowledge about video games generally. I'm not sure if I've ever played a game like that. I've definitely read, when I was a teenager, I was really into choose your own adventure books. So I don't know if you ever did this, but you'd get to a page in the book and it would say, right, decision time. If you decide to use the magnifying glass, jump to page 6. If you decide to open the chest, jump to page 8. And so you would read the story multiple times, if you like, and take different paths. And I remember me and my friends, when we were probably young teenagers, we got really into those kind of choose your own adventure books. But I haven't played one or haven't played a game like that, and I haven't read one like that in a long time. Let's put it like that. So I'm fascinated by what that might mean.
Please tell me.
He might just be messing with us, and I respect that.
But please tell me, in all honesty, that you used to I remember reading a Dragon one. I can't remember what it said, but it was like, go to page 46, and it was like the dragon ate you, and you're like, quick. I didn't do it. I didn't go to page 46. I chose the other one.
No, I was a good boy. Always follow the instructions. If it says jump to page 46, you jump to page 46.
No, I always had the rule that if my thumb doesn't leave the page, I never turned it. That was my rule. My thumb had to leave the page.
I see. You left yourself a save point so you could go back. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
All right.
I wanted to be good. I didn't want to kill my character off early.
So, Hexe, right? If it was like a horror genre or a survival genre type of game. Have you? I don't know if I've ever played a game like that either. Could you name some in that genre that you've played?
None.
Okay. All right. Could be
But
a new experience for both of us.
I'm thinking Dark Souls.
Okay.
Now, it's not survival horror, but there's a lot of. You've seen pictures of Elden Ring. If that doesn't get you nightmares, I don't know what will.
Oh, Elden Ring, mate. Every screenshot of that game terrifies me. I will never play that game. I've said this before, but that game would give me nightmares for sure.
But I'm thinking that vibe, dark, gothic. You got a stealth round, and if a Templar grabs you, it's probably like 1 or 2 hits and you're dead. That's proper stealth, gritty survival.
Would it be like Last of Us then?
Yes. Oh, I love Last of Us.
Oh, perfect. I love that game.
That would, you know what?
Who doesn't? That's kind of an obvious statement, really. Or a Plague Tale that I played a few months ago. That's a sort of I don't know if you'd call that horror, but that was certainly sort of stealth survival, I suppose. Yeah, all right. I could be up for that.
Literally, that personally is the only game in history, and this is coming from a guy who read Stephen King's It in a week and didn't have nightmares. I played an hour of Plague Tale and I can never touch it again.
Really?
I think I got to a point with all these rats and I watched some get eaten by the rats and I felt so physically sick. I had to delete the game from my console.
Do you know, I mean, I've played it once. I played it over the course of about a week. It's not a very long game and it doesn't need to be. And it's fantastic. But the squeaking of the rats, I can still hear it in my head, which I guess is job well done by the sound designers.
I think everything about that game was done perfectly. I think whoever created the game was insanely good. The layout.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that. I read so much. I read Stephen King. I've read Pet Sematary, Salem's Lot, and they've never bothered us. I've played Last of Us, that didn't bother us. I played Doom the other night, that didn't bother us. I watch random videos about real life ghost sightings, they don't bother us. After an hour in Plague Tale, I am huddled in the corner of a blanket and a cup of tea.
Wow, all right. See, Last of Us, it never frightened me, but those bloaters and whatever, the clicking of the clickers is that sends a shiver down my spine. We should probably talk about some of the other stuff that was announced. Let's talk Netflix. Oh, Jade. Go Jade. Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. I am so confused about Jade. Seriously, how the hell does it work? It's a mobile entry. Okay, that makes sense. It's going off the Genshin Impact trend of free-to-play open world. Okay. I think it may get ported to console through Infinity because it wouldn't make sense for it just to be on mobile. One, how are you monetizing it? That is a serious question, and I know people are going to turn up their nose, but people need to realize free-to-play games need a monetization. The games are free. The developers can't whack out a game for free and expect no cash from it. There has to be some form of monetization. How are they going to do it fairly, truthfully? If it's cosmetic like Valhalla, great, that's get you bang a buck, will not ruin the gameplay. Boosters, I don't care about them. I bought one on Blooming Odyssey and PS4 and I literally typed on a forum before I deleted it. Why does the booster make no difference? But I didn't. So boosters, but the biggest question is, how the hell do you make your own protagonist?
Well, I mean, you could if you want to be a lore nerd, you just say that the Animus presents any avatar that you tell it to.
Okay, James. Yeah, James. I'm going to go in the corner now because I've been thinking about this for a week now.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't figure out when James was just like, oh yes, an avatar. Oh shit, I should have thought of that.
But it's like in AC1, Altair has Desmond's face, doesn't he? It's the same face model Because, of course, I would assume that from a actual game dev point of view, they were on a limited budget, so they just made one face for Desmond and for Altair. But I think the sort of in-universe explanation is the Animus just presented the face of the Animus user in its simulation. But anyway, yeah, Jade, you could just say, sure, you're mate. Jade could just be spun as an Abstergo entertainment product,
Sold.
and you're just creating your own character. So yeah, you can make it look however you like. I will say one thing: if you look at the Jade, and it's only about a 1 minute sort of animated preview, isn't it? And I spotted this. Of course, I spotted this when they zoom in on the assassin character who's at the top of the tower. It's Arno. They've used Arno's face. It's hilarious. My boy Arno in there. Anyway, that's just something little that I noticed.
I actually think you're onto something, but you should have kind of pushed it more on Twitter for an explanation. Because when there's a character creation model in a game, there's always what's called a face preset. And basically, a face preset in any RPG or a randomizer is basically a lazy man's button of, I can't be asked character creation, let's press a button.
Okay.
What if you're onto something? What if the face presets in this Jade are pre-modeled characters? Arno, Ezio, Elise,
interesting.
Evie Fry, Cassandra. Why not? What if that's why he looks like Arno? What if the preset model that somebody picked was Arno? That would create a product where people may want to build their favourite character in this character. They might want to build their Ezio, their Altair. Why not give them a preset face of them characters? So if you want to play as Arno in medieval China, face preset. It's so convenient. And I saw your post about it, and it just got me thinking that what if, when they talk about the Easter egg in that 15th anniversary reveal trailer, and they show all the 15 characters, and then they had Jade, I was thinking, what if Jade character could be one of the 15 protagonists?
Could be, yeah. And you could just spin it as an Abstergo entertainment product that's got all the models preloaded. So yeah, why not?
Look at Rebellion. Rebellion has
exactly. It's Rebellion on steroids.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you. Like when you mentioned it, I was like, crap, James could be onto something. You could have Arno running around China. If that's the case, Altair, get out of retirement. We're going to China.
Question for you. Will you play it?
It depends.
Good answer. What on?
My phone.
That is a very good point.
The thing is, I'm a dad of two. Everyone knows that now. But when my kid's at school, I don't have the time to boot up my Xbox and whack out a few hours on Assassin's Creed. It's just not practical. So I'm more of a mobile gamer than anything. I have on my phone right now Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest that I've been playing for 2 years now.
Yeah.
A Vikings, which is a base builder strategy that I've been playing for half a year. A Marvel Puzzle Quest and a Square Enix game. So I play a lot of mobiles. I have pre-registered for the Division game from Ubisoft on mobile. I pre-registered for Rainbow Six Mobile. So if it comes to viewership, I am going to pre-register. I probably will play it. Okay. Give it a shot.
It's going to be strange because I haven't. The last time I played a mobile game was, I remember playing the original Angry Birds on my iPhone 4, which was my first, smartphone after many Nokias. So what are we talking there? 10 years, 12 years ago? And I played Angry Birds through all the levels to the end. I'm just not a mobile game. Oh no, I played Real Racing 3. That's a great, or was, I don't know if it's still available. That was a great racing sim on the original iPad or the iPad 2 or something. And again, we're going back like 10 years, but me, I don't want to play games on mobile. I've got a console and a nice PC and a big telly. So why would I play on a little phone screen? So I guess for me, it's probably not. But maybe I will just, if it's free to play, is it going to be free to play?
Um, I don't think they said, but I'm hinting at yes because of Genshin Impact,
Hmm.
which I would like to clarify. If anyone doesn't know what Genshin Impact is, it is literally a mobile game that was ported to PlayStation 4. It's a free to play, completely free to play, open world RPG. That literally is the game. It's massively open world. It's an
Okay.
RPG at its heart. There's loot and everything. The only thing you pay for is gacha elements for like a new character or gear.
Okay.
But the core RPG gameplay is free. It, no one can't tell me that Ubisoft want to jump on that same train. Come on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Tower of Fantasy was released last week, which is another open world gacha MMO. Again, it's open world on your mobile. It's a market that is. It's a market that Ubisoft haven't actually scratched the surface to, but they're starting to with Game Pass now. Because Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey are on Game Pass now,
Yes.
which means I could get my Xbox controller right now, plug it up to my phone, go sit in bed, and I could stream Odyssey onto my phone.
So with Game Pass, it's not just that you then have access to download the game and play it on your Xbox. You can stream games.
Yeah, and the
Wow. All
streaming
right. Damn,
can
I'm getting old, man. I'm not catching up with this stuff.
the streaming does work on mobile as well. This is the whole point that I think I'm trying to make about Jade being free to play. Is the fact of they are bringing a feature soon. If you have Game Pass, you can stream any game you own through the Game Pass. So I could stream Assassin's Creed 1 in my bedroom with my phone. So Assassin's Creed developers saying, "Oh, let's lock," because they did it once. They locked an RPG Assassin's Creed on mobile behind a paywall, and it flopped. Now mobile's taken off.
Yeah.
It's they flopped once with Assassin's Creed Identity, which no one talks about, but I played it and it was actually really good. I don't even know what happened to Assassin's Creed Identity now. It was like a open sort of spin-off title for mobile, but it was actually
Was
really
that
cool.
that wasn't the Facebook game, was it? What was the Facebook game called?
Project Legacy.
Oh, Project Legacy. Right. And then I was thinking about Initiates. No, Initiates was like a website, wasn't it? Assassin's Creed Identity. Okay. Yeah, another one I've not played and I guess never will.
It was released in 2014. It was an action role-playing game, open world action adventure
Okay.
stealth game. Developer Ubisoft Blue Byte. Jeff Broden was the composer, and it was £1.99 to play, but it just wasn't good for the price.
Gotcha.
But now, if it was
Gotcha.
free, people want free.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. Interesting. So Jade, China, 3rd century BC, I think is the date that was given on the preview and open world. So it's going to be interesting to watch. What else? There's another mobile game we need to talk about. And I actually had to rewind the presentation a few seconds to hear this again. So as well as Jade, which will be, I guess we're assuming native mobile, maybe it'll be a game that's streamed. There's going to be a Netflix mobile game.
Yeah, welcome to what I'm going to call the graveyard of games.
Yes, go on.
See, Declan is well versed in the world of mobile gaming. Declan spent a lot of time researching randomness. So that game's dead on arrival. Already, it's done. There's no more placing it. And the reason it's
That's
dead.
a bold statement.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. This is why I told everyone I'm gonna get lynched. The problem is, you cannot play it on a standard platform. So Android is Google Play, and the Apple Store is iOS. That's basic
Yeah.
stuff. You can't go on the Apple OS and download this game. that's not possible. You have to download Netflix app. You have to have a Netflix account. You then load up
Yeah.
Netflix, and only on the mobile app can you play Netflix mobile games. From my research, only 1% of subscribers actually play Netflix mobile games.
Are there already other games available then on Netflix?
There is a few that got into it last year,
Okay.
but it's basically locked. There's it's locked behind such a huge paywall that at 2021 it started. Yeah, it's just because it's locked behind that app. You can't go to Google Play to play it.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah.
if people watch Netflix on their games consoles, like they watch it on the home. Not a lot of people watch it on the phone. So essentially, that game's dead on arrival because who's going to play it? You can't.
It is a bizarre one, isn't it? I mean, I assume they've done their market research, or maybe Netflix have just handed Ubisoft big sacks of cash, because Netflix want to bring more games to their platform. But yeah, I mean, like the Jade point, I don't see I may play it out of curiosity, but I just don't want to play games on my phone. Maybe I'm weird, but yeah, it doesn't appeal to me at all.
Can I backtrack?
Mm,
I would like to backtrack. I have just found something that I should have done my market research before I came on the episode.
okay.
It turns out Netflix, when you go to the store and you click Netflix.inc, they have Netflix branded games on Google Play. They're not very good games. There's Asphalt,
Okay.
Relic Hunter, Lucky Luna, but they're not rated. There's no ratings on them. So,
Mm,
but the very Lucky Luna is a retro platformer. I'm just picking random here. Relic Rebels is an isometric bullet time game, but they're all very low rated, like 3.5 out of 5 because it's cliche,
yeah.
3.4 because it's cliche. There's Exploding Kittens, the game, 3 stars out of 5. Stranger Things, 4 points. So maybe
Mm,
I'm wrong. Maybe they can use them from the App Store because
okay.
it is. But when you look closely at the type of games that Netflix is going for, they're very pixelated, very retro looking games. There's some non pixelated ones, but they do look very much mobile.
I know what you mean. Maybe they'll maybe they'll do like a Bloodlines remaster for the Netflix platform
I,
and
I,
Altair's Chronicles.
I wouldn't mind that, but I'm going to backtrack, but I'm still going to say that maybe it's going to be dead on arrival because flicking through the store now at the type of games they've got on there, I don't know how Assassin's Creed's going to fit. It doesn't look like Netflix has the space for the complexity of not Rogue, Rebellions, or the open world complexity of Jade. So, whatever it is, we'll have to see, but
Yeah.
I'm doubtful for it. And it's
Mm,
not me trying to be, a
mm,
sponge. It's just the mobile gaming world is really hard to get into. And
yeah. I mean, it's big business though, isn't it? So if you can crack it, good revenue source. So I guess they've got Jade and they've got this Netflix game because they're going to try and tackle the market from two directions. Yeah, hey, can't blame them for trying. They might be enjoyable games. Let's see.
now that uh, now that I've found that you can download them, um, I might try it. If I don't need a Netflix account, I may try it and see what happens.
Mm, mm.
Only good things can happen.
Yes, indeed. And it's worth a try, isn't it? So, on the Netflix topic, they gave, again, just a brief sentence or two to. We haven't heard about this for a long time, but there is a television series in production, and that's about all we know, I think.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me wrong, I'm still angry at Ubisoft for this decision.
Why?
Because it's the same reason why I'm angry at the Tolkien Studios for giving Amazon rights to Lord of the Rings. Basically, you are taking a multi-franchisal game, and anyone who can't afford Netflix
I see what you
or
mean.
doesn't have the reason, because heck, Britain is literally on its knees in a financial crisis right now. Most families can't have Disney, Netflix, and Amazon running at once. Amazon is
Yeah.
like Netflix $13.99 a month, Disney $7.99 a month, Amazon's
Yep.
blooming £90 a year. My opinion as a games company, you should have given that deal to every studio, or made it time to close it. So Netflix will host the series first, then Disney will host it, then Amazon. Is that stupid? Yes. But is it inclusive to the fan base? Yeah. Like, can I watch this Netflix show? No. I blooming beg my partner's mum to borrow her accounts because our household doesn't afford it, because we don't need it.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. We don't need Netflix. There's nothing on it for our family. Am I going to waste £13 a month to watch Assassin's Creed? No. I don't have £13 a month to waste on something I'm going to watch once and then cancel. So I just wish there was more of an accessible way for people to watch it instead of just going to Netflix.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's there are so many streaming services that it's become ridiculous as a consumer. You could easily subscribe to 6 different streaming services and be spending 70, 80, £90 a month. And each streaming service is its own little walled garden now. So a Netflix series, okay, but you're absolutely right. Not everyone has Netflix, so it's going to be, and I'm guessing it's not going to come out on free to air. It's not going to be on the BBC or the ITV, is it? At least in the UK for a long time. So yeah, it's going to be a challenging one, that's for sure.
I think the best thing they should have done, and it will still net them a profit, is they should have released it on YouTube, because they could have implemented ads. I watch Blimmin' ITV. I'm not bothered with ads. If you're bothered with ads and you don't watch enough British telly, that's all I can say. So imagine it being on YouTube. Everyone can watch it. They get money based off the ad revenue system. They add 2 adverts into it. Sold. Everyone's watching it.
Yeah.
Or bring it out on DVD. I'll buy the DVD.
Well, that's the other option. And maybe they will. Maybe there'll be a collector's DVD or Blu-ray edition or something.
I might ask. Can I have it, please?
Yeah, Christmas present for yourself.
Oh yeah, come on Ubisoft, I need Christmas present. I like free stuff.
They didn't give a release date, did they, for the television series?
No,
I don't remember hearing anything.
It's 2023. 2023 is a huge year for Netflix and Ubisoft, because they're juggling Assassin's Creed, mobile game, TV show, Mighty Quest, mobile game, and Valiant Hearts, mobile game, all through Netflix, starting from January, I assume. So
Were those other ones other Ubisoft mobile games? Were they Mighty Quest and the other
Valiant
one?
Hearts,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
So Ubisoft signed a huge deal with them, but alas, I live off mobile games. If you want to know what's happening, DM me. I'll find someone else. I'm nosy. But I think it's going to be a good thing, because I think, in my opinion, the TV show could go ahead where the movie failed. And the movie failed because of pacing. That's the issue. I don't think the film was bad actor, quality, whatever. I just think it had crap pacing.
Really? See, I think it was decent. I might be in the minority there, but I think it was decent. I really do.
I think it's because when you play the games so much, and it's why I've always demanded that TV shows better, is Assassin's Creed to me is a game where it builds up the history, so you're
Mm.
immersed. It builds up the modern day, so you're immersed, and then you get the whole little plot tied together neatly. By the end of it, I was like, why was he in prison? Why is he fighting himself in a cell? Because I don't remember the bleeding effect doing that. What is that animus doing? Why is he in prison? I think I
He
asked
was
why.
in prison because he murdered someone.
Yeah, I didn't get that from I did not
He
get
was
that.
beating himself up because of the extreme bleeding effect that he was suffering because of how much they were putting him through the animus. And they were doing that because Alan Rickin was putting Sophia Rickin under pressure to get it done quick.
Yeah,
Um,
not to be rude, Desmond was put under a lot of pressure. Desmond was literally in a coma. I did not see him walking around Montague Valley punching Finette going, come on, Ezio, let's rumble. Me and you in the villa. Come on, let's go.
you're being
No.
harsh, my friend. That film was all right. It wasn't. It was. It was. It was decent. It was better than all right. It was decent. I maintain it. I maintain it. Fight me.
Let's just say I will always slander any movie that I watch on British TV. Because the problem is, when you watch it on a streaming service, it's probably the whole film. Have you ever watched Film 4,
No.
the TV channel? Have you ever watched Harry Potter on ITV3?
Yes.
Have you ever sat there sometimes wondering about the pacing because the adverts suddenly kicked in?
Oh, adverts, but also they will cut scenes out, weren't they? They'll cut little bits of
Yes.
dialogue out to make the film fit into the time slot. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Yeah.
Now, what is Declan's experience with Assassin's Creed movie? Film 4. Did I buy it on DVD?
Okay.
No. Did I watch it on a
Okay.
streaming service? No. I watched it on Film 4, and literally, I think it got to the scene where he was getting his finger branded, just how the system goes. I was like, oh, look, that's him getting initiated. Scene cut, advert. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. That's not the best
Yeah, so
viewing.
I think I'll always knock it, not as a criticism towards the product itself, it's just because I had that bad experience through Film 4 because I've watched Film 4 literally so many times and then I've watched the films again and I'm like, that wasn't on the TV.
Mm,
That didn't happen on the
mm.
TV. That didn't happen. So I do believe I may have missed a lot of scenes, and until I actually get my head out my arse and actually watch it on my Xbox, or when my book arrives, I will read the movie tie-in book and then be like, I like the movie now.
Oh, damn it. I've got the tie-in novel for the film and I've still not read it. That's one of my books I need to read. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you for reminding me.
well, I am a true Brit. I find my bargains. I got it 1.99. Actually, no. The guy was selling it for 1.50. I haggled for £1.
Oh, nice one. Nice one.
People are like, is this guy a cheapskate? Yes. Yes. I know this is off topic, James, but my when we first started talking, we said that we don't have a lot of transmedia books.
Mm.
Well, I've been collecting transmedia books, and I now own nearly all of the transmedia books.
Nice.
And I know it's totally off topic, and people are probably not interested, but I did the maths. It's cost me £12 for all Assassin's
Oh, well
Creed
done.
novels, and one novel cost £8.99. So I've practically got every of them for cheaper than buying 2 books, just because if you're resourceful and you have a charity shop,
That's fantastic. Yeah.
I'm quite surprised. But yes, that is just a random tangent about Declan being a thrifter. That's as the Americans call them, thrift shops. Brits call them charity shops.
Yes.
You probably walk past them in your high street people and think, I probably won't be any good in there. But look, I swear you have to go into a charity shop once in your life because you can find in some of them Assassin's Creed books for 50p and good quality, and that's a good bargain.
Yeah, you've done well. Absolutely. I haven't. I've got some of them on my Kindle. I've got a few of them physical, although there's still quite a few gaps in my library. I should keep buying them slowly. Um,
I think
there's three more topics to talk about. Um, Invictus. Did you spot that code name when they were presenting?
yes, the standalone multiplayer.
Yeah.
Uh, on the fence.
Okay.
Only because if it's free to play, I'll play the hell out of it. If it costs, I'm not buying it because I don't buy Xbox Live, so I can't play online. It's simple as I don't.
Right. Good point.
I
Good point.
can't afford £120 a year
Yeah.
for Game Pass Ultimate, which comes with Assassin's Creed. It comes with Xbox Live, but why you buy Game Pass for Live is a different topic for a different show. But
Mm, mm.
am I going to really buy a multiplayer and buy Xbox Live just for that one multiplayer? No, there's no point. I don't play multiplayer games. If it's free and it's crossplay, me and you, James, we're doing weekly streams.
Oh, that would be awesome if it's that accessible. Absolutely. I enjoyed. I've I've played a little tiny bit of Brotherhood's multiplayer, which I found very very challenging. Thank you to Six Keys, who then gave me lots of tips after the fact. Black Flag multiplayer is a lot of fun, especially in I can't remember what the game modes are called, but you can do sort of player versus environment in teams. That's a lot of fun. Wolfpack and so on. Unity co-op is fantastic, but it is rather buggy. Um, so a stealth-based multiplayer is interesting. I'm definitely going to watch it closely because I like you say, it depends on the cost and the accessibility, because I would probably only play it casually, so I'm not going to spend a lot of money on it. But that's just me, and there are other people out there that I'm sure would play it intensively, and therefore spending some money on it isn't an issue. So it'd be interesting to see how it's priced, and if it's got cross-play, that would be awesome.
To be honest, I think the biggest win for it to succeed, and I hope Ubisoft are listening to this idea, literally give us an Overwatch style game where there's small maps and it's 5v5, and you have assassins characters from all over the franchise, like Rebellion, but each have different stats. So you get tank, stealth, ones that do support, and literally just have people picking a team of stealth support and all that into a huge battlefield, and they just fight. So Arno fights Ezio, and Arno's more of a stealth. No, I'd say, yeah, I would rate Arno's stealth and Ezio a fighter. So imagine just, you've got more abilities where you can use more smoke bombs, more range, where
Mm,
Ezio uses more of his double blades and has more agility. So that could open a lot of fluidity for gameplay. Who do you
yeah,
pick? Well, James
yeah.
is picking Arno because he wants to be a stealth. Okay, I'm going to go Cassandra because I just want to wail on people.
Mm,
And then monetization is simple: a battle pass with cosmetics. Do you want to play as Cassandra dressed up as Altair for a fiver? A lot of people, oh, stupid. Me, I'll pay a fiver. It's cheap. It'd be hilarious. But
yeah, I have. I mean, I have played a fair bit of Fortnite, which I do find good fun. Again, just drop in and out the game, very casual, but it's really good fun. And I have spent a little bit of cash. I have the Aloy set, and I won Eivor and Ezio skins from a competition that Access the Animus ran months ago, and they're quite good fun to run around in. So yeah, I do enjoy Fortnite. And do you know what? If there are sort of game modes that are drop in, have a bit of fun, do some stealth, stab some bad guys, and drop out, it could be a lot of fun.
I think the possibility is that I literally still stand by a 20 by 20 man battle royale where you dropped in and the animus is desynchronizing slowly and you've got to use stealth and tactics to be the last one standing. That'd be kind of fun.
Mm,
Imagine that stress,
yeah,
hiding in a hay bale. Think you get out, you think you're the last man standing, and someone air assassinates you at the
yeah.
last minute. That would be hilarious. You're like, oh no, okay, I'm done. Let's go play the team brawler mode. I want to be um, Eivor this time, and I'm going to go wail on some bad guys with her ability of Berserker, so she gets a little bit more damage. And I'm going to do some challenges and get a battle pass to dress Eivor up as a dragon.
Yeah.
It's fun. You could have fun with it, and if it's free to play, I'm playing it. I just now want to play Eivor dressed as a dragon, just punching people. That sounds fun.
I think let's watch this space. I mean, I'd certainly be interested. It'll probably come out as multiplayer for mobile only, or something like that. In which case, nah, I'm not bothered. Anyway, we've got 2 more things to talk about. So Valhalla's getting a last chapter.
Yes, I'm not happy.
Why?
Because I've just had to delete 90% of my Xbox.
You've had to make, because Valhalla takes a huge amount of space now. It's over 100 gigabytes.
136.
Oh my god, what's that? About half the storage of your Xbox?
My Xbox is 286. So yeah, about
damn
that.
It. More than half. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Damn, but I am excited because there was Animus glitches are back from the trailer. She's talking to Odin, and it looks like there's a threat she's got to solve, judging by it. Yeah, I'm excited, and it's free. It's free. That's all I care about. It's free.
I'm looking for. I'm not a massive fan of. It's not the story. The central story is great. It's the overall length of the game with the side arcs that are not optional. You have to do them all, and didn't enjoy the gameplay. But I am looking forward to going back and seeing this conclusion to her story, I must say. The other thing I'm looking forward to, and they didn't mention it, but I think it is coming, is the last half of Tombs of the Fallen. And I really enjoyed the first half. I enjoyed the sort of the parkour and the simple parkour, but the simple environmental puzzles and so on. So I'll be interested to see if that does come back and we get that in a imminent title update. Plus, New Game Plus might be coming. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to the final chapter and seeing why does Eivor go to Vinland? Why does she stay?
I think one point I want to make quickly is Tombs of the Fallen has, I believe, been secretly confirmed to be happening.
Okay.
Because if you rewatch the announcement closely, I watch it with subtitles on my phone on all the time. He clearly states that it will tie up every last storyline. It is mentioned that it's all going to tie up all the last loose storylines, and Tombs of the Fallen had a storyline, so
it did.
It's confirmed. But I'm actually now going down the theory that Eivor is exiled to Vinland. And that's where she chooses to be exiled because she has no choice. I think Alfred is going to give her an ultimatum. Either I can push you out of England with force, or I could welcome your clan into England with open arms, but you've got to leave. Because I think this is around about the time when Guthrum, I think Guthrum was christened around this time, wasn't he?
He was. That was part of the peace deal, was it not, between Wessex and Guthrum was in charge of the Kingdom of Kent, or was it East Anglia? My knowledge of this part of our history is not great, but yeah, he was christened or baptized as part of the peace deal. I guess that'd be the peace deal that set up the Danelaw. This all kind of merges with the little, and again, if you don't think about it too deeply, it doesn't matter. But if you do think about it deeply, Eivor is a real world character who was absolutely key during the Viking invasions or the Norse invasions of England. But of course, there's no historical record of her. I suppose that's why she has to disappear to Vinland, isn't it? To make sure there is no record. But you'd think there would be some historical references about her. But yeah, I'm not clear on the exact timeline. And let's be honest, the game, especially when you consider the DLCs, the game doesn't exactly strictly follow real timelines anyway. and it kind of messes a little bit with timelines, and especially people like Rollo who are there and then not in Siege of Paris and all the rest of it. So there are some inconsistencies with Valhalla's timeline. But yeah, I have to say I am looking forward to seeing how this story closes, and going back to Valhalla one last time, back to England one last time.
Same. I'm quite looking forward to it, and I think going to Finland after playing the Finland Arc to rest is actually one of the most peaceful things and actually heartbreaking things you can do, because when you look at the scene where she's doing her version of the campfire scene in Finland, I don't know if it was just me looking into things, but she looked happy when she was telling them about like the stories of Thor and Odin, and I really think that she's going to be happy there to tell people these stories, because to her they're not stories now, they're memories, but they will never know, because I personally think that she can't tell Valkyr, she can't tell the clan these memories, because to them that's their belief. That's what they believe in. They believe in Odin, they believe in Thor. She can't walk in like, yeah, I'm Odin, he was a prick. She can't do that. But to strangers, she could tell her memories as stories, and that's kind of heartbreaking that she has to live a life with memories that she can never tell.
Good point. Could be emotional, yeah.
I don't want to see Eivor go. I like Eivor. I like Dave. Eivor's a great character. And Harvey was an okay character, but let's not talk. Let's go to the next.
Well, there's only one more, which I think is Mirage itself.
Oh, I thought you were going to touch on modern day.
Oh, well, go for it, mate.
Do I have to? Because I know I'm going to get lynched.
Well, what could we say? It wasn't. I don't think it was in the main presentation, or it may have been. Honestly, I probably should have rewatched it, but it's been such a busy week. It was either mentioned briefly in the main presentation and then expanded on in a press interview, or maybe it was in the developer sort of deep dive into Mirage. But from a few different sources, it's kind of become clear that Infinity, which is a code name we've been hearing for about a year or so now, it isn't a game. It is going to be some kind of home page or launch pad, or we don't exactly know what, for multiple games. So Red and Hexe are the first two titles. I don't know if they'll be the only two titles, but we're kind of assuming they're the first two titles that will run under this banner of Infinity. And as part of this new structure, the games won't have, let's call it interactive modern day. As far as we know, the modern day story will be told separately to the actual games, but somehow through this Infinity hub launcher thing. And of course, lots of people are happy about that. Lots of people that play these games don't enjoy the modern day, and they just enjoy the historical exploration and whatever. And then other people really do like the modern day and say that without it, the games lose something special. At the moment, we've had kind of a clarification, again, a small clarification, again, from Darby via Twitter, and I think he was in a conversation with, I forget who, might have been Leo K. I can't remember now. I've read so many messages in the last few days that it's all a bit of a jumbled mess. Anyway, he was having a conversation with them, and Darby sort of clarified that it's not all necessarily doom and gloom, and it's not all exactly, not that the reporters reported it wrong, but maybe just a little bit lost in translation, and maybe we should just wait and see before we judge harshly. So I don't know what to think. Personally, I think that it's actually pretty cool when you're in the modern day and you see the ghosts of your forebears, or you in the modern day you visit a location that you visited before, and you're very much retracing the steps of those that have come before. And I think that's quite cool, and that will be lost if we don't have the interactive element. But also, on the flip side, maybe the other way to look at it is that if you have this, you could see the modern day as a millstone around the neck of the writers. And actually, if you just say, do you know what, we're not doing it, we're just going to go all in on this historical exploration, historical fantasy game, then we're kind of unshackled. We don't have to have everything strictly controlled by an animus, and we don't need to think about how to write a story that connects these different time periods. I still think that'd be a bit sad, but let's see. Let's not judge it too harshly yet. But maybe there are good things that could come of this, even if we can't see them right now.
To be honest, this is why I've been wanting to say it since Saturday, but I'm really scared because my point is a bit different. I think this idea is the best for the franchise, and it's going to do the franchise a world of good for two major reasons. Live service games, every season there's in a live service game there's a story that's told, and
Yeah.
the story plays out for like the missions and lore to it. So what people are not seem to be discussing, but I think it'd be really cool, is they could drop a lore season at the start of Red, for example, and in this modern day it tells you like the lore of between Valhalla and Red, and then you play Red, and after you complete Red you unlock more lore that fills the modern day, and then until Hexe comes along while you're playing Red, and you're just playing Red, little lore tidbits are constantly filled up. So you play Hexe, and then them two memories are part of one story block. So the next game starts with like an introduction, and that's like a new live service season, as I'm going to nickname them, and that seasonal story will have modern day tidbits, and then that will unlock a memory, so a game. More tidbits will unlock over time for free, even if it's just emails, videos, recordings, which have been done since Assassin's Creed 1. And then once you've read all them, a new memory is unlocked that ties it all. It actually creates such a huge unified experience. It's like, imagine opening up a Netflix hub, for example, for Assassin's Creed 1, and you just played 1, and after you play 1, you go to this menu and you read all the lore about Desmond being captured and what he's doing, and you find them, the glyphs that he finds in the bathroom, and you solve them yourself on a computer like Access the Animus does. And then when Assassin's Creed 2 comes out, you play 2 just as the past, and you log out when you take a break for a cup of tea, and you read the lore again on how it connects, and you do this all the way up till 3, and that season ends, and then you've just literally got this whole one story that you don't need to go back and replay the games. You can just open up a file and read every lore tidbit in one continuous novel, that when the next season comes along, the developers don't have to panic like, oh no, how do we connect to the last story? Let's not. Let's make a new season, a new story, and let's tie it to it a little bit, but let's not take that noose of we have to make it so interconnected, so thing that if we do something wrong, we're retconning or we're making a mistake. You're not. You can create more fluidity. And the other point I made in Discord today is, imagine Origins being that Infinity product where you boot it up, you get to that Animus screen, there's no modern day, it's all through Infinity, and you get a pop up that says lore tidbit. You go to it, and it's like, after the events of Origins, Layla did X, Y, and Z. You read it all. Now Layla has found the spear of Leonidas with the data remains of Cassandra. However, Sean Hastings, a historian, has found records of a being called Deimos who exists in this time. Is Cassandra Deimos, or is there another person running around? We've added in a character model, which is Alexios, to stimulate if Deimos has the same memories as Cassandra, and if there's any differences. And then that really throws away that whole wish-washy of 2 DNA streams on the blade. You could create a new narrative that works more to the product, if that makes sense.
It does, and I suppose it shows that just because modern day has been told in, modern day has been told in 1, 2. I suppose we've had 5 different modern, 4 different modern days. So we've had like interactive characters, so Desmond and Layla. We've had first person view with the iPad in Black Flag and Rogue. In fact, with Liberation, we had none of that, but we had little hidden files from the hackers called Erudito, which was a different way of telling that story. Then we had Unity, which was just Bishop in our ear, basically telling us stuff. And then we had Syndicate, which was cutscenes. So we have had a number of different storytelling options across, 12 games, 13 games, whatever. Maybe there's space for new ones. I don't know. I suppose although I'm cautious about it, and I think that the games are more interesting when your actions in the past influence the present. I'm also an optimist, and maybe there will be some new and interesting ways of telling the modern day. I suppose the bit that feels a bit of a shame is at the end of Valhalla's main story, you have Basim alive in 2020 and in the cabin with Sean and Bex. And I think from that starting point, there is so much potential for really interesting modern day stories with Basim and the Assassins, or Basim with Abstergo, the Templars, or Basim as a rogue agent doing his own thing. And I just think you could go any direction you want. You could even have across multiple games and multiple stories, Basim doing stuff. And it feels like we've got to this really interesting, after some years of Layla's story being a bit meh. I mean, it's there, but it's never felt that compelling to me. And Valhalla did a really good job of making it compelling. We've got such an interesting point, and it sounds like it's all going to be kind of not really, because Mirage is going to have almost no modern day at all. We've seen in an interview. It's going to have a little scene at the start and a little scene at the end, and everything else will be in the historical time period. So it just feels like a waste. If they don't use Basim in interesting storytelling ways, that'll feel like a waste. But again, we can't prejudge it. I'm an optimist, so let's see what they come up with.
I'm in the optimistical camp of what if, because it's like 400 Ubisoft studios, what if Quebec or Montreal get this big budget that they don't have to waste on mocap and resources for a modern day, and a smaller studio like Sophia gets a big budget to do mocap like hell, and instead of playing Red and then you've got like a 5-second scene of Bassett talking to William, and that's like a £1,000 mocap scene, you get a £5,000 cinematic of a whole 20-minute mini movie of Basim talking to William and doing assassin stuff. To me, I find that a lot better because there is a ton of missable lore in the last 3 games. Heck, I didn't even know about the computer till after I beat Origin. So, and imagine if you had this, like, I know it's unrealistic, so nobody at me here, but you'll have this 10 grand budget to build the game, and you've got to set, let's say, 5 grand for modern day, 5 grand for past. Some stuff may get lost in translation, but if you've got this 10 grand budget just for the game, you could use that to fix bugs, really fine nail the historical treatment, while a separate studio gets its 5 grand budget for the modern day, and then they don't have to worry about the gameplay elements, making sure it ties the game. They could just create an insanely detailed cinematic story, be it anime style, webcomic style, recordings, or even a fight scene. The potential there to tell unique storytelling that unifies transmedia, could be there. It's just how they want to handle it. I just think the stories that are running are a bit, wait, don't say it's dead, because it's not dead. There's a crud ton of potential out there. We need to wait. Breathe.
We do. Let's see what they come up with.
Have faith. Literally. I know there's a lot of bad stuff come from Ubisoft in the coming years, since past 3 years now, but developers pour their heart and soul into these franchises. To run around now proclaiming X, Y, and Z is dead, proclaiming X, Y, and Z is going to be crap, it just shows how little faith we have in the studio that makes the games. And I'm not talking about the bigwigs, because I don't have faith in some of the bigwigs. I'm more talking about the studios like Montreal, Quebec, Diamond McDevitt, the people that work hard telling stories. Just have faith in them. They're This series has been going for 15 years. It can't go on in its form. It's going to burn itself out. They need a new everlasting formula. Let's not panic. Let's just wait. I panic, but I shouldn't.
Yeah. And you know what they commit to in the next year or two isn't what they need to commit to forever.
Exactly.
You know what? Infinity might just be 2 games and 2 mobile games and some modern day interactive stuff, and then they might reinvent the whole thing again in 5 or 6 years' time. Who knows? But it's certainly an interesting. We've got some interesting waiting time. We're going to have to be very patient, aren't we? But yeah, it's going to be an interesting few years, that's for sure.
My stance, I've been here for 15 years. Should I just drop off the face of the earth because I'm unimpressed? No.
No.
I was going to jump off the face of the earth with Infinity, because I don't care what anyone says. I still don't understand what the hell Infinity is. You know, you've got an article last year that says it's not a free-to-play game. It's a game that does X, Y, and Z with fun features. Now you've got them saying it's a Netflix hub. If it's free, I'll take it. I just don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else to say. Other than 15 years, I'm 27 and I started when I was a cute looking 12-year-old and I'm a scraggly beard, skinny. Well, no, I'm not that skinny, I eat too many pies. 27-year-old. It's been a hell of a ride and I'm here for the rest of it, except for Netflix. I'm skipping Netflix.
Understood. Well, mate, I think that's everything.
Yeah, I'm just looking up cookie recipes to beg Netflix to send me free code to watch the Assassin's Creed stuff.
Good luck with that.
Hi Netflix, here's some chocolate chip cookies. Now let me watch Assassin's Creed early. Hey Q. Oh, so I want to know what everyone else's thoughts is on the 15th anniversary. Are you all worried, hyped, indifferent, or are you like me where you will either play Assassin's Creed 1, Valhalla, or heck, a day in Sim? Because at the end of the day, Assassin's Creed is a franchise that's got to grow. If you don't grow, you fall behind, because the gaming industry is ruthless and never changes. But hey, it's Assassin's Creed. We've been playing it for 15 years. We're never going to stop. I hope. I hope not. I like it all. So if you'd like to share your thoughts, you can DM us on Twitter at ACLet'sTalk or at James Teddyquid. But be extremely careful when you put at James Teddyquid, because every time I do, I now tag his virtual photography page by accident.
Ah, yes.
So, I wonder how many people have done that as well, because I nearly announced today's podcast with your virtual photography page. So that would have been interesting. Look.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that crap. Yeah.
Well, see, he's slowly fishing for details. You can email us at assassinscreedletstalk@gmail.com. Please email us some of your fanfics as well, because I'm hoping to get this Community Tales done before Christmas. Christmas is going to be my new deadline. Well, 10 stories is when it finishes, but a nice Christmas present for the world to wake up to. So thank you for everyone joining, and we'll see you all next week where we'll be talking Mirage, and I'll be talking about mythology because you can't shut me up.
I look forward to it. See you soon.
See you soon all.